I'm Megan,
I'm Christy.
and we are
Homebrew.
Murder Crew. Ooh.
Hi.
Hey, Christy almost took her mic out with her
I did.
boobies.
Well, you already took your mic out
I
somehow.
did, yeah. It wasn't secured onto the desk very well, and I was
Yeah.
like holding it like a microphone.
But you know what? You
and
didn't.
it came off the desk.
You're like, but you didn't spill your wine. So cheers to that.
Exactly. Cheers.
I swear these aren't as full as they seem. They are cut with cranberry ginger ale.
Zero sugar.
Yeah.
Because, there's enough sugar in the wine.
From the holidays. So it's literally, I mean, I know that I have a lot of people on my side when I say this, but it is the best ginger ale.
Agreed.
Yeah. And I know that a lot of people are like hunting it down, including yourself.
Yes.
Now that the holidays are over.
Yeah.
So I wish you the best of luck.
You know what?
Let me know if you find it.
This year, and I don't know if it's new this year, but I stumbled across it. There was 2 cases of it left when I was at London Drugs one day. The creamy vanilla Coke Zero.
Oh.
And this lady and her husband were like talking about it, like whispering about it in the hallway. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to take one. So she grabbed one and I was like, sounds good. So I grabbed the other one, and then they were like walking down the hallway, and she was like, you know what? We better grab the other one too. And I'm like holding it. And I was like, oh, sorry. Because I didn't realize it was like a hot commodity. Like I hadn't heard anything about it.
That's good. So a Coke Zero in general, though, I do not appreciate just regular plain old Coke Zero. But Diet Coke I can go for, but Coke Zero is just like, it just tastes like static, like TV static.
Not when it's creamy vanilla.
But that's what I mean. It's like creamy vanilla Coke Zero might be game changing, actually.
You know what, though? After that one time that I accidentally found it at London Drugs, I was not able to find it again anywhere.
Fuck, that's the worst.
I looked everywhere.
Yeah.
Never saw it again.
Nolan's fallen in love with the all-dressed Dollar Tree branded all-dressed chips.
Oh.
At the Dollar Tree.
That's an interesting.
Not Dollarama, Dollar Tree. And he's fallen in love with these. And ever since he's gotten a taste for these, now he goes back. It's very like sporadic that he's able to get them there.
Right.
And I was actually I might do this for Valentine's Day.
Buy him like a case.
I might special order a case for him.
That's a good
See if I can do it.
You should.
Yeah.
But anyways, this is a microbrew, so we will cut the banter.
Yeah, we'll cut the banter short, and then
Mm-hmm.
join us a couple days from now on our regular episode, and we'll have some more banter for you.
Yeah, this actually marks our first like recording besides our wrap of the 2026 season. Yeah. So.
And just really quick, if you haven't already, go check us out on the Okotoks podcast. Carlin Letzer featured us, and we had an interview and everything. Good. So enough said about that.
Yeah, it was so much fun.
But go check
it out. And without further ado, I'm going to talk about my episode today. My microbrew today is about a historical place in my hometown.
Oh, we're back on the East Coast.
In New Brunswick, in Lincoln, New Brunswick, to be exact. So that was fairly close to where I was born in Fredericton and where I spent a lot of my childhood.
That sounds so close to Lincoln, Nebraska.
I know, Lincoln, New Brunswick. Yeah, so Lincoln, New Brunswick. So the historical landscape of New Brunswick is deeply defined by its legacy of the Loyalist migration, a period of profound social and political restructuring that followed the American Revolution. Among the most significant, yet now tragically vanished, examples of this heritage was the Belmont House in Lincoln, New Brunswick, alternatively known as the Wilmot House. It was situated on the southwest bank of the St. John River, which you will remember we talked about that in my episode about the Mi'kmaq people.
Okay, yeah.
That was a sacred river to them. But
I'm sure they didn't call it the St. John River, though.
No,
yeah,
no,
I'm sure it was probably.
It sure was.
Probably named something else.
Yeah.
Affectionately known as.
We did cover that in the episode. At this moment, I cannot remember. I apologize. So it was approximately 16 kilometers from the provincial's capital, which was Fredericton, where I was born. This stately neoclassic country house stood as a primary symbol of the province's colonial elite for over 2 centuries.
Oh, I want a house like this. So
That's the thing is
that's
that
my
like
dream home.
this has been this microbrew has been on my list since we like basically started tracking what we were going to cover, because I had a friend tell me a personal story about, like, family friends tell us a personal story about this house, and I'm like, I just like it's got it's got those spooky undertones, and I've dreamed of going to this house one day, but
we might just have to go to a different old house one day.
Yeah.
Megan.
Soon.
Teaser.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was this neoclassic country home stood as a primary symbol of the province's colonial elite for over 2 centuries. Designated as a National Historic Site of Canada in 1975, Belmont House represented a unique intersection of private domesticies, high-level political administration, and military defense engineering. It's so the origins of Belmont House are inextricably linked to the arrival of the Loyalists in 1783. A demographic shift that fundamentally altered the demographic and political composition of the St. John River Valley. And we don't need to go into detail about what happened there, but anywho, I think we all know. The estate was originally established by the Bliss family, a lineage of prominent legal and administrative officials who were instrumental in the early governance of New Brunswick.
You were talking colonialism, right? Like,
what did I say?
Well, when you were like, we all know what happened there.
Oh, yes.
Like,
yes, that is what I meant. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. We
colonizers.
Yes.
Not colonialism. Sorry. Colonizers. And we all understand what happens under that.
We can go listen to the episode about the First Nations.
Mm-hmm.
And we did cover that in a little bit of detail there. But this is about the house. So, Daniel Bliss, a Loyalist settler, there's that word, settler, secured the land. I'm just going to try to keep this neutral.
Neutral. We can't, okay? You know what, Megan, though? Like, this is the thing that I sorry, a lot of banging here. What I appreciate so much about you is that you are this quintessential colonizer. Well, no, you're not a colonizer. So I'm sorry.
Oh, like, we're getting an email about
descendant
that one.
From, like you're just you very clearly are not Indigenous. And like when we started this whole thing about,
I'm not.
And then like Brittany's Indigenous and I'm Métis, and you had these reservations of like, well, I just don't know if that audience particularly is going to resonate with me because I am very, very much white.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, is that she's still so passionate, and through this whole podcast and everything, like she's not only learned from Brittany and I, but she's done her own research, or she's already known certain things. So you guys,
educate yourself.
Educate yourselves. You all can do it.
And listen to our podcast, because we do a little bit of that as well. Because this is not made up. This is not bullshit. This is not made up. We're bringing you straight facts.
Yeah.
But I digress. So Daniel Bliss, a Loyalist settler, secured the land near... This is hard to read. I'm so sorry. Secured the land near Fredericton, where his family would exert influence for generations. His son, John Murray Bliss. Oh, he's got 3 names. That's never good.
Well, you know what?
They just do that in the news. That's why serial killers always have the 3 names. They always use their 3 names for some reason.
Yeah, I guess. But you know what's even more concerning than using 3 names is if those 3 names were 3 first names. That would be upsetting. It was like,
okay,
John Lucas Mark.
Oh yeah, that would be sus.
That's
like,
suspicious.
That's some bad juju there. Like, but it's John Murray Bliss.
Yeah. I bet he was not blissful.
Yeah. Yeah. John Murray Bliss inherited the family estate and oversaw the construction of the mansion in 1820. So they already had the land. He built the house in 1820. John Murray Bliss was a figure of immense professional stature, serving as a Supreme Court judge in the colony where the judiciary often judiciary.
Judiciary?
Thank you.
I'm
Often,
here for
I
you.
know the word.
I know
I
you
just
do.
cannot pronounce
I know.
it.
I know.
I never realized until we started this podcast that I have like a bit of a speech impediment.
Yeah.
Like there's words that I just
fine.
cannot
Yeah, I know.
form. Even
That's
though like
what
in
we're
my
here
head,
for.
they're like, this is how you say it. And then my
Yeah.
mouth is like, no, it's
No,
not.
it's not. Nolan's like that too.
Yeah. Anyways, often where the judiciary, she said again?
Judiciary.
Yes, thank you. Often held as much power as the legislative assembly. The construction of Belmont was an explicit statement of this power. Completed in the early 1820s, which is the same year it started, it was reputedly the finest house in the colony at the time.
The finest.
The finest house.
It was the finest.
Reflecting the classical taste that was then sweeping through the British Empire as a preferred aesthetic for the ruling classes.
Okay, I want to find this house. Hold on.
Yeah.
What is it called?
Belmont House. Belmont. You might. Yeah.
Oh, New Brunswick.
Lincoln, New Brunswick. Lincoln, not spelled like Lincoln.
Lincoln.
Yeah, there you go. Lincoln. So,
oh, girl, I know. I know my Lincolns. I don't know my Brunswick, so apparently it's Brunswick. That's okay. Let's go images. Oh, is that her?
That is her.
Oh, but let's go this old photo. Okay, let's do that first.
Beautiful.
And then for those of you who are viewing us via
Patreon,
I know there's a share screen here. Share. Here we go. Screen. And oh, maybe that's not going to pull it up. Well, here you go. That's not what I was trying to do, girls, boys. Well, you know what?
We'll definitely share it on our socials.
Open link in new window. Lincoln. That's
Lincoln.
The link.
It's probably.
So, anyways, there's the house there.
Yeah. Oh my, look at the pumpkins.
Open image in new tab.
That's so cute.
Adorbs.
That is so cute.
It's not letting me open up a new tab. Yes.
That's beautiful.
But anyways, you get the idea.
Yeah. Look, it's got 2 chimneys. Anyways.
That's beautiful. Oh, that's my, like.
I know.
It's a dream.
Know.
Something like that is a dream.
Yeah. What?
Oh, I thought I just closed our whole studio.
Oh, you scared me. Oh, man.
Okay.
Okay. So anyways, so the name Belmont itself, occasionally rendered as Belmonte or Belmont, like it's, like
Belmont,
likely drew from European aristocratic traditions, perhaps echoing the medieval Belmont or Belmond estate in France and England that eventually gave their name to the Bloomsbury district in London.
Or estate if you're nasty.
In the context of the New Brunswick frontier, such a name served the domesticate and wilderness. Oh my God. And can I make this bigger? I'm blind as a bat. Anyways, in the context of the New Brunswick.
Can I make this bigger? Title of your sex tape.
Oh no. Okay. The name served to domesticate the wilderness and establish a sense of historical continuity and continuity and prominence. So it was originally owned by, the house itself was originally owned by John Murray Bliss. So he owned that house from 1820 to 1834. It was then sold to a John McNeill Wilmot in 1834 to 1847, which is when it became the J. Wilmot House or whatever. But the architectural significance of the Belmont House resided primarily in its status as a premier example of the neoclassical style as interpreted in Canada between the 1820s and the 1830s.
And sorry, my apologies, but when Bliss is the one that built it, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So when he owned it, what was it called? The Belmont House?
The Belmont House.
Why wouldn't you call it Bliss Manor?
That's a good question.
Opportunity lost. Just throw it away. It's fine.
Neoclassicism,
TM.
which drew inspiration from the classical architecture of ancient Greece and Rome, was favored in the British colonies as an expression of order, reason, and imperial stability. At Belmont House, this style was manifested through a rigorous adherence to symmetry, proportion, and the use of a temple front motive. Yeah. The house was a large-scale structure consisting of 2.5 stories. 2.5 stories, yep. A central block.
How does 2.5?
I think it had an attic.
Oh.
I think an attic is like a half a story.
That would make sense, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe,
so,
yeah.
The house was a large-scale structure consisting of 2.5-story central block, which was 5 bays wide, flanked by 1-story single bay wings. One of the most unusual aspects of its massing was that the north elevation of these side wings was flush with the central block, creating a wide and imposing facade that commanded the view from the St. John River. The central block was covered by a low-pitched gable roof, which was positioned so that the gable end faced the river, effectively serving as the main facade. This gable end was designed to emulate a classical pediment, creating the effect of a temple front. Both the north and south facades, am I saying that right? Facades?
Facades.
Facades were surmounted by these full width pediments, which were trimmed with finely scaled dentil molding, a series of small tooth-like blocks that added a refined texture to the roofline. Within each pediment was a small semicircular window, a characteristic neoclassical detail that provided light to the attic while maintaining the geometric harmony of the exterior. Like, it's beautiful. Like, just beautiful. And I love this little add-on on the end here.
Yeah,
it's on the other side too.
Yes. Yeah. But that's not original, is it?
No, I think the add-ons are.
Yeah. But and it is just it's so imposing. It's just a long boy. It's a long boy.
And it's a big house.
Yeah. It's like I
don't have the
ranch style house with a mix of neo-colonial or whatever.
I love it. Yeah. The construction utilized the local materials and traditional techniques of the 19th century Atlantic region. The structural framing consisted of roughly squared timber, which supported wide floorboards and hand-split laths beneath the interior plaster. The exterior cladding was composed of wood shingle siding, a practical choice for the damp maritime climate, though it was applied with a precision that matched the house's formal design. The fenestration was equally disciplined, featuring identically sized small paned windows.
Look, they are. Those were original.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Well, that's 1951.
Arranged in perfectly symmetrical rows. These windows were framed with simple wood trims, neat moldings, and slip sills, contributing to the stately appearance of the home. Heating was provided by 3 large brick chimneys that survived.
3
very, very good built chimneys. 3 of them.
Maybe
their placement reflecting the internal layout of a 14-room mansion.
14. That's massive.
14-room.
Where did they all shit and piss in the 1800s?
There's probably one bathroom.
One outhouse.
These little things on the end, I bet that's the bathroom.
Well, they didn't have plumbing then. But so maybe it was like an attached outhouse. I don't know. But
yeah. So in 1834, the estate was purchased by John McNeill Wilmot, a transition that marked the beginning of Belmont's most politically significant era.
Also, I want to see how long it is.
I know. I wish that I had the dimensions, but I do not. John McNeill Wilmot was a dominant figure in the business and social life of St. John, serving as a merchant, auctioneer, and the leader of the Calvinist Baptist community. His purchase of Belmont House from the heirs of John Murray Bliss consolidated the property within a new mercantile elite that was beginning to challenge the order Tory administration for provincial dominance. However, the house is most famously associated with his son, Robert Duncan Wilmot, who lived at Belmont intermittently from 1839 until his death on September 7th, 1891. Robert Duncan Wilmot was a pivotal figure in the history of the Canadian state.
Sorry, you probably can't hear that, but my kids in the background telling certain ALEXA to set a timer for 15 minutes.
Yeah. As a father of Confederation, he was a key negotiator in the process that unified the British North American colonies with the Dominion of Canada in 1867. His political career was extensive. He served as an original senator in the Canadian Parliament and held his position as Lieutenant Governor of New Brunswick from 1880 to 1885. That was only 5 years, guys. Just so you know, in case you need some.
My child is 5 years old, okay, and I'm gonna probably raise him until I die. So
longer than 5
do better.
Years, yeah.
So I mean, what do you want?
Time, maybe that was a long time, but
I guess you just don't live as long as you used to.
The heritage value of the site, as recognized by the Canadian government, was deeply rooted in this association. Belmont was not merely a house, it was a seat of power for a man who helped draft the constitutional framework of a nation. During his tenure as lieutenant governor, so those 5 years,
his tenure,
house likely hosted numerous political gatherings, serving as an unofficial administrative hub outside of Fredericton. The legacy is often conflated with that of his nephew, Lemuel Allen Wilmot, who was also
you got it. That's fine. It's fine. Whatever.
Who was also lieutenant governor, and national historic person, though his primary residence was in Fredericton.
So fuck him, basically. No. I'm just kidding.
One of the most compelling things that I left out when I was talking about it were that the Belmont House, one of the most compelling aspects of the Belmont House was its dual nature as both a residence and a military fortification.
Oh.
During the mid-19th century, the house was utilized by British troops, a period that left a permanent mark on its physical structure and gave rise to much of the folklore that surrounds this house.
Listen, the only British troop that I care about is the Spice Girls.
Yeah. So I wasn't able to find a definite number, but I did find several. Like I know for a fact that there were a lot of hidden passageways in this house.
I love a good hidden passageway.
Are not easily found, like in the research that I was able to find online. but I know that there was one behind one of the fireplaces in one of the main rooms. There was it popped open and there was a hidden passageway behind it.
So do you think that was military purpose or was it?
They were military purpose. So they were definitely there. I just don't know. I read one thing that said there was like 15 hidden doors and stuff in this house. Like it's crazy.
Like an ant farm.
Yeah, it's not quite like the H.H. Holmes. Is it H.H. Holmes that did the really weird house with all the...
Yeah, with the chutes and everything for the dead bodies
Not
and
like
stuff.
that,
Well,
but-
yeah, it's not like that. It's military, so it's about security and that sort of thing. Yeah.
So local legends and historical accounts consistently pointed to the existence of a hidden tunnel that ran from the basement of the house down to the banks of the St. John River. This tunnel was strategically located at at the end of one of the long central hallways opposite the kitchen. It was designed to allow British soldiers to move discreetly between the mansion and ships docked at the river, entering and exiting the property without drawing the attention of the public or potential adversaries. This feature underscores the tactical importance of the St. John River as a primary transport and defense corridor during the 19th century. So that is what the tunnels, I don't know when the tunnels were put in. I don't know if it was when it started to be used as a military fortress, like a fortification, if that was when the tunnels were put in, or if they've been there since the initial build of the house.
Well, I don't know why Bliss would need
Yeah.
all those tunnels, but can you visit the tunnels today?
No,
Why the fuck not?
because it's gone.
Why the fuck is it gone?
I don't
It's
know.
a history.
I was like telling
It's
my
a history.
The reason that I chose to do this now is because I was telling my coworker about it because she loves history and stuff and she'd never heard of it. She's also from New Brunswick. I was telling her about it. I was so excited. So I Googled it to show her a picture. They demolished it in September
Of what
2025.
Are you fucking?
They
Why?
just demolished it. I don't know, but I'm so
Why?
sad.
I need to know why
I
would they
will
would do
get
that.
there. There's some details about it here, but basically, it changed hands a few times and people weren't keeping it up and it became just like...
So why didn't the government take it? It's an historical...
They did, but they weren't taking care of it.
Oh, they weren't.
And now it's gone. So, but the basement of the Belmont House was not merely a utility space. It contained actual holding cells used for prisoners during the troop occupancy. These rooms were described as being roughly the size of a standard cell, but lacked doors. And visitors frequently noted areas of the walls where holes had been filled with newer cement, suggesting that the cells had been modified or expanded over time. Furthermore, the rear of the house featured rooms specifically designated for active defense. These river-facing rooms were equipped with large concrete and stone slabs that were engineered to support the immense weight of cannons. Standing on these slabs, one could look out across the lawn towards the river, indicating that the house was prepared to act as a battery to prevent naval incursions towards Fredericton. This military engineering explains the unusual structural reinforcements found in the basement and the rear of the building, which differed significantly from the refined neoclassic finishes of the main living area. I'm assuming it does. I couldn't find it, but I'm thinking that these things were added after the fact.
So is there pictures that you're gonna post? Like, do they have pictures exist?
Yeah, pictures do exist.
Inside, outside?
Yes.
The length, the girth, the back entry
There
way?
is, yeah. And there's some pictures of the tunnels.
How big is the St. John River?
We might need to Google that one.
Like,
to
as wide as fuck?
No. It couldn't like it.
Is it wider than the bow?
I mean, some parts of it might. Yes. Some parts of it might be
like it's no Mississippi River.
See, I answered that question without Googling it because I'm thinking about my specific town and
Yeah.
how wide the river was there. And it was not. So St. John River width, the width of the St. John River.
The width of the river.
The width of the St. John River varies greatly from narrow, marshy beginnings to several miles wide near the mouth, ranging from 600 feet to over 3 miles in width.
3 miles seems massive.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I don't know measurements. Like, if you tell me, that's why I'm so afraid of sewing, is because you have to buy fabric by the yard, and I don't know what the fuck a yard is.
Wait a minute.
I'm so sorry. This has nothing to do with anything.
I might have been looking at the wrong St. John River. The width of the St. John River, New Brunswick, varies significantly, averaging from 50 meters upstream, but expanding to 700 meters.
Oh.
So over half a mile near Fredericton.
Oh, okay, half a mile.
Half a mile. So that with the widest point reaching nearly 3 miles across some places.
Okay, well, that's still,
So,
yeah, about the same.
So the underground tunnels were used by the troops to travel without being noticed. We talked about the stone cannon slabs, the basement cells, the side porch staircase, a narrow staircase leading to the upper floor troops' sleeping quarters, separate from the officers. So they had like a tiny little staircase at the side for like the less important troops to sleep.
Right.
But the combination of the ancient lineage, its military use, and its eventual transition into a subdivision apartment building created a fertile ground
that
for
thing's gonna be fucking haunted.
And local folklore.
Is there no? If it just got demolished in September,
yes,
of last year,
yes.
There's already an apartment building there?
No.
Oh.
They turned it into an apartment building before they demoed it.
Oh, I got you.
Yes,
okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
Cool.
So by the 20th century, Belmont House was widely regarded as one of the most haunted locations in New Brunswick.
Possibly Canada?
Yeah. Maybe
Possibly.
not. So the modern spooky reputation of the house gained significant public attention in the mid-1980s, largely due to the writings of a journalist named Jackie Webster. Webster, a prominent figure in New Brunswick's media, rented one of the apartments. So I gotta look back.
Like for funsies or for realsies?
I kind of skipped this part. So John McNeill Wilmot, he owned it from 1834 to 1847. From 1847 to 1891, Robert Duncan Wilmot owned it. So we talked about that. But so mid-19th century, the British military utilized that site for defensive purposes. And then between 1975 and 2024, it became a national historical site, and that's when they turned it into they transitioned it into apartment units. So now
imagine renting an apartment on a national historic site.
Well, I heard about this house because some family friends told my parents when I was younger that they rented one of the apartments when they were military. So they rented one of the apartments when they were I think moving from
Nova
Scotia to New Brunswick.
Like specifically?
No,
okay.
But the military rented it for them or something.
That makes sense considering its history. But
the husband was fiddling around with the fireplace.
You never fiddled.
Popped open, and they saw the staircase, and they left. I was like, what? They didn't stay there because there was a staircase going down to one of the tunnels, and they left. That's how I heard about this.
Girl, you know I'm about to go downstairs and fiddle with my fireplace.
I would have been there. I would have been there. Yeah. So Jackie Webster, she rented one of the apartments. So in the 1980s, she was a prominent figure in New Brunswick media at the time.
She's a real
She began
Nancy
documenting her unsettling experiences. Her accounts included reports of a negative presence that she believed was intensified by candlelight vigil or a seance held at the house to contact its spirits. Webster eventually moved out, citing the oppressive atmosphere, and her articles served to codify Belmont's place as a provincial ghost lore. So some of the documented haunted phenomena. So other residents, including a Rebecca Cogswell, who occupied an apartment in the house as recently as 2022 and 2023, reported a variety of unexplained phenomena. Yeah. Okay. These reports generally fall into 4 categories: auditory disturbances, visual apparitions, physical sensations, and residual hauntings. So for the auditory phenomena, residents frequently reported hearing hollering orders, which folklore contributed to the spirits of the British officers commanding their troops. Cogswell also noticed a specific hot spot in her bathroom where she would hear low-level conversations and murmurs that sounded like people talking in other rooms, even when the house was otherwise empty. The visual apparitions. Sightings included a phantom cat. Yes.
Okay, but with a 14-room place, I assume that's,
when they converted it to apartments. What do you mean a 14-room place?
Well, yeah, I guess how many apartments did they have?
They had, I think it was not 14.
No,
they turned some of the rooms into bathrooms and stuff. I think it was like 5 or 6.
That would make sense.
But towards the end of it's she was living there as early as 2023.
Well, how do you know that? How do you know that nobody's home? Do you know?
It was already super disintegrated. So I'm guessing I don't believe a lot of people were living in it.
Okay.
And it's really in the middle of nowhere.
And
there's nothing around.
Dilapidated, falling apart.
Near the end of it, you would only want to live there because of the fact that it's a spooky place. So the phantom cat was constantly seen out of the corner of
a phantom cat.
Eye. Yep. Yes, a phantom cat.
Yes.
A little boy dressed in suspenders and a hat in the hallway.
Oh.
And a young lady in a dress moving towards the basement.
Beautiful.
More ominously.
Oh.
Passerby and residents claim to see faces staring out from the 3rd floor attic window when they were just passing by the house. I've driven by this house so many times.
Do you know how often and you know what? Actually, I don't want to say this. Sounds really creepy. But just say how often I'm walking the dogs and I look up at people's windows.
I know.
And I'm like, wait a second. That sounds very bad.
Creepy.
Promise it's not.
Yeah. I'm just kidding.
No.
Parts of the house, including the attic, had remained largely unvisited for decades.
Oh my God. It's just rife with activity.
Yeah. The basement was consistently described as having a heaviness that made individuals feel as though they should not remain there for long. Other reports included the sound of footsteps running across the 2nd floor.
No, never running.
The apartment above was vacant.
Never. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, still never running. I don't like it.
And the clanking of chains against the stone walls in the basement cells, which were still there.
Yeah.
Perhaps the most famous piece of Belmont folklore concerns a large brown stain on the living room carpet, which was believed to be dried blood. According to a former resident, the carpet was replaced and the subflooring repaired by the landlord, yet the stain reportedly kept reappearing in the exact same spot.
No.
In its final decades, Belmont House was divided in 14 apartments. Wow, those must have been tiny apartments.
So they're all rooms, yeah.
Tiny apartments, yeah. 14 apartments, a common fate for large 19th century mansions. And it looks kind of small in the photos. But it's massive.
They probably, if there was a closet, they probably turned the closet into the bathroom. And then you didn't have a physical closet. You'd have to get an armoire or something like that. But you probably paid very little to rent in a dilapidated building.
Yeah.
A 14 square foot apartment.
Yeah, so it was divided into
with a T-hole for your
14
B-hole.
apartments, a common fate for large 19th century mansions that had become too expensive for family maintenance. While the front fascia
Fascia.
fascia fascia
Fascia.
yeah
Yeah.
fascia I kept saying it
Fascia.
wrong. I'm so
Fascia.
sorry. I'm not architecture is not my thing. It remained relatively well maintained. Photographs from 2013 showed significant peeling in the paint and weathering on the rear of the building. Many of the original windows remain, which is spectacular. I'm so devastated we can't go see this house. Though the lack of comprehensive restoration meant that the house's structural integrity was increasingly at risk. The tenancy of Rebecca Cogswell provides a window into the lived experience at Belmont during its final years. Cogswell described the house as a place where the past was constantly present, not just through the architecture, but through the sense of shared memory. She noted that while she wasn't truly frightened, she felt lucky to be a blip in its memory, acknowledging that the house had seen 200 years of New Brunswick's history. The property was eventually sold in late
Okay, I'm sorry.
2023.
What she said and how she described that was fucking poetic and beautiful.
I know. She was.
Oh my God.
She
A
was
blip in its
a
memory.
blip
Oh
in
my
its
God.
memory. Yeah. So it was sold in 2023, and who they sold it to is not really publicly listed. But the tenants were asked to vacate immediately after the new owners took place, signaling the beginning of the end of the historical site.
They wanted the land, didn't they?
Yeah.
They didn't want the house.
I guess. The demolition of Belmont House was in September 2025. This is 2024, but it was 2025. It sent shockwaves through New Brunswick's historical community. Despite its status as a National Historic Site of Canada, the building was razed by its private owners.
Yeah, that's what I just don't. I don't know. I just don't understand why.
That should not be allowed.
No, it shouldn't. Like, it should go. It should be transferred to the government or something, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, unless there's an owner that is, like, if you declare a building, like, historic or whatever, and there's already a current owner, then obviously there should be, if there's not already laws in place to protect it as a historic building or structure. And then the owners have the opportunity to either agree to that and then agree to uphold it to the standards that are required, or sell it to the government, right? So either, hey, this isn't a historic building, and if I got that news for a building that I owned, I'd be like, absolutely.
I know.
I will cherish this and I will restore it, you know? But yeah.
I did read
Stand by.
Yeah, it says here that it was acquired by a Nicole Elizabeth who intended to renovate but faced significant structural issues.
Nicole,
and
come
then
on.
she chose to have it torn down. Yeah. So Facebook discussions in late 2025 suggest a prominent, if troubled, recent renovation project in St. John, New Brunswick, which might be property. Oh, yeah. So the owner was Nicole Elizabeth, who purchased it with renovating plans. Yeah. But found it too deteriorated, leading to the community discussion about the father of Confederation's former home.
I mean, I bet there was. I bet it wasn't just, okay, we'll demolish it. I bet there was a community discussion. Of course. Like, yeah.
Yeah. So
Nicole, I'm sorry.
It highlighted a significant gap in the Canadian heritage legislation. A federal designation by the Historical Site and Monuments Board of Canada provides honorific recognition and may offer some protection for federally owned properties, but it does not inherently prevent a private owner from altering or destroying a site.
Yeah.
The reasons for the demolition were not explicitly detailed in public records, though. See, what I just told you was somebody wrote that on Facebook. So
okay, yeah.
we don't know if that's true. So, though it is often the case that such actions are driven by the high costs of renovation or desire to redevelop the land for more modern uses, the loss of Belmont House is particularly acute because it was one of the few remaining examples of a large-scale neoclassical domestic architecture in the province that had preserved so many of its original 1820s and 1830s features.
I mean, I suppose that if you're the government and this
Yeah.
place gets declared a historic site and so you acquire it,
Yeah.
and then you look at it and you're like, man, this is going to cost us and
Yeah.
the taxpayers like way too much money. It's not worth it to restore it.
Yeah.
Like, cause it might have been too far gone, you
Yeah.
know, like structurally the integrity of it.
Yeah.
So I guess in that sense, it would make sense as a government to say, let's not spend the money. Let's make the money off of it and sell it.
Yeah.
And then this woman maybe was just like, oh, what an incredible opportunity. And then she realized she bit off more than she could chew and she probably lost a fuck ton of money on it.
Yeah.
But
so Belmont House stood for over 200 years as a centennial overlooking the St. John River, witnessing the transformation of New Brunswick from a colonial outpost into a modern province. Its history was defined by the high Tory aspirations of John Murray Bliss. The mercantile success of John McNeill Wilmot and the national vision of Robert Duncan Wilmot. The house was a physical manifestation of these shifts. Its neoclassical facade projecting an image of stability and order, even as its hidden tunnels and basement cells spoke to the more turbulent military realities of the 19th century. The folklore associated with the house served as a parallel history, a way for the community to process the heaviness of the site that had been both the highest level of political triumph to the stark condition of a military confinement. While the reports of hauntings, the phantom cat, and the reappearing bloodstain added to the house's mystery, they also ensured that the history of the house remained a living, breathing part of the Lincoln community. The demolition of Belmont House in September 2025 serves as a cautionary tale, the preservation of Canadian heritage. It highlights the end of a more robust legal framework that can protect national historical sites from destruction, ensuring that the physical links to our collective past are not lost to the pressures of the present. Though the structure is gone, the legacy of the Belmont House continues to reside in the archival records of New Brunswick and the enduring stories of the spookiest house in the province. The lessons of its architecture and its history remain vital to scholars of the Maritimes, standing as a testament to the vanished era of Canadian life. I'm sad. I'm devastated that it's gone. I literally was showing her it. I was like, I'm going to go there one day.
that is really sad.
And then all of a sudden it was like,
Yeah.
the Belmont House has been demolished.
But
And I was like,
what's fun to realize is just because the house is gone,
Yeah.
the tunnels I bet are still there because you can
I
cover
couldn't
tunnel
find
entrance.
anything about it.
Yeah,
but they're probably definitely, unless they filled them.
But I wonder if Nicole Elizabeth kept the land and
Yeah.
rebuilt on it.
I don't know that, but it's so frustrating because like this reporter lived there
Yeah.
in 2023. So it could not have been that bad.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I understand that it probably was, like you said, a bit more than she could chew, but like how devastating. Like,
Yeah.
sell it back to the province or something. Or sell it to a historian, sell it to somebody that like wants to,
but I
or
guess
can afford to,
we don't,
or
what we
turn
don't
it
know.
into a haunted attraction.
Yeah. But
which is what I would have done.
What we don't know is what Nicole Elizabeth had done up until the point of making the decision.
If she's the one that bought it.
If
Because I did see somewhere else that it was sold to like a nonprofit indigenous.
Even then, whoever it is, we don't know what efforts they made to
True.
pass that property
Yeah.
along before they had
Yeah.
to make the decision financially and fiscally to
Tear
say,
it
okay, we
down.
have no leads. Nobody wants this godforsaken
Yeah.
thing. And
it's really sad because it's hard to find information on it too, but like it had so much history to it. It's wild. But you know what? I'm learning more and more and more that like Canada just doesn't really give a fuck about their history.
okay, but I'm going to say this and be the devil's advocate.
Yeah.
And I remember I am part Indigenous and I'm allowed to
Yeah.
say that. Say
Yes.
this is that if it was some not-for-profit Indigenous group
Yeah.
and they demolished it,
Yeah.
good for them. They got their fucking land back.
Mhm.
Hashtag land back.
It's so sad because like you go to places like where Martin is from and like I mean obviously Germany is a much older
Yeah.
place, but like they worship their older buildings
Mhm.
and like they're open for people to tour and they take care of them. Like some of them are just beautiful, but here in Canada it's like, oh, the wood is rotten, better tear it down.
Well,
Like,
also back in
they
the
just tore down
old
Eau Claire.
country,
Yeah.
in the old country, they built things that were structurally sound and they built things with integrity. They didn't just come across the ocean with a couple
Yeah.
of fucking shitbag
Like-
Joe Blows to try to manufacture these buildings, you know, like
I wasn't going to tell you until like I was going to wait until the end to tell you that it had been torn down, but then you asked me and I couldn't lie to you. So I kept out a part when I was talking about the building of it. But those 3 chimneys
yeah,
were still perfectly intact.
that's crazy.
Like there was barely any wear and tear to them. Like, and they were
That's
original.
crazy. Yeah.
They were built like a brick shit house.
Like a brick
Like a brick shit house. But it was going to be one of those things that I was going to be like, we should go there.
You're bearing the lead, yeah.
And
I'm
then
sorry that I burst your bubble with that because I was like, can we go visit the town?
No. And then I Googled it just like, oh my God, this was like right after Christmas. And that's when I saw that it was gone.
Oh my God. And you're like,
And
I need
because
to
it
go.
was like a private owner and everything, it wasn't like talked about or nothing.
Yeah.
And like the people are shocked.
Yeah.
Like the community did not know what was happening. Like people were driving by and the house was gone.
That's devastating.
That is devastating. Like, I don't know what the circumstances were, but it's devastating. I'm very sad because I have thought about this house since I moved away from New Brunswick when I was 15 years old and I wanted to go see it so bad.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of things like the Prince of Wales Tower in Nova Scotia and this that like I just want to go back there and do a big trip and go see all these things. And now that's one less. There's really not really anywhere in Fredericton left for me to, or New Brunswick for me to go see. Like,
well, listeners, I know that you watch us and listen to this everywhere. So share with your friends, join our Patreon, $3 a month. You can see these episodes, videos, forever, and you can get episodes early. And by doing that, you might help us to reach these goals of visiting these places.
Absolutely.
And
we can tell you our own experiences.
And again, we do have some fun little local things planned
we sure
for the
do.
new year, but
a little bit of field trips.
Some field trips for you guys. So
thank you for listening.
And you can find us on our socials. We are on Facebook and Instagram at Homebrew Murder Crew.
We're on Patreon at Homebrew MC.
Yeah, we are.
No, what is it? Homebrew MC?
Yes.
Yeah, Homebrew MC. You got to be 18 years old to find us, though. So even without paying anything, you do have to sign up for an account for your agent to find us even on Patreon. You can also email us at homebrewmurdercrew@gmail.com. So thank you for listening to what was supposed to be a short microbrew.
And we talked a lot about it. So
we did.
Good episode, Megan.
Thank you.
Okay. Join us in 2 days for our full length episode, which will be the same amount of time as this one.
I'm sorry.
Bye.